Hello and welcome to the Women of Power Hour. Today, I'm Reverend Laura Topper and I'm feeling so excited for our power guest who keeps popping in and out. She is here backstage, popping in. She's so powerful. It's like, oh, in, out, in, out. Reverend Serena Hemmer. Oh my gosh, a woman of power. Serena came onto the cosmic prayer, the very first cosmic prayer, which was in August 2020, and here she is today, 2 years and 2 months nearly later, 4 months nearly later, on the Women of Power Hour broadcast. And so I'm feeling really grateful and blessed and excited to be here with Reverend Serena, as she is an absolute powerhouse. She's an author. She is a teacher. She is a reverend, a minister. She is a therapist. She works with psychologists in the field of child development, and she'll talk a little bit more, I'm sure, about this. She has written Pearl's Wisdom, her series of Pearl's Wisdom books, 2 of them. The first is called I Am Me, I Am, and the second one is Feelings Are Like Clouds. It's so beautiful. I think these are for everybody, not just for children. And has more books coming out. And another book, actually, that this must have been written a while ago, because I know that she has another book that is based on galactic and angelic light languages. Totally amazing. Can't wait to have a conversation about this. And Reverend Serena is a counselor, a heart and soul counselor. She has been practicing in Ohio and in Florida, and she holds a master's degree in clinical social work, which focuses on child and family welfare. And she's a licensed clinical social worker also. So a woman of power, definitely, and coming in here to share her understanding of what power means and to share her light. I'm going to bring you on. You can't stay backstage any longer.
Hello, Laura.
Welcome, Serena.
Hello, it's so good to be with you. I just love you so much.
Oh,
I
I
do.
love you, and I'm just feeling so filled up that you're here today and sharing and shining your light with that incredible. Whoo, I mean, that's really, I can feel it from here, and it's so
It's a
great that
Florida
you're here.
tree.
It's a
Actually, I
Florida
think,
tree.
yes, I think it's a Florida oak tree, which are different than oak trees where I'm from in Ohio. They're different. But yes, it's an oak tree.
Powerful. It's a powerful tree for a powerful woman, and I am really excited for you to share about you and what it means for you to be a woman of power, and how we can be more of this in our daily lives with everything that's going on and the demands that are, that we take on a lot of the time, don't we?
Yes,
What does
yes, we
yeah?
do.
What does it mean for you to be a woman of power, or to be the essence of that and grow into that more fully?
Well, it's taken a long time. I think there's a song um, that says. It took a long, long time to get here. It took a brave, brave girl to try by Alicia Keys. That's in one of her songs. And it did. It took a long, long time to get here and a brave, brave girl to try. Um, because it's been through what we would think would be hardships or challenges that I think, I have grown the most in this area. But I have not really ever thought of myself as a woman of power. I think of myself as a woman who bases her life in love and in trying to be love in action as much as I can. And so I guess, love is sort of my power. But my my work is really about helping other people remember their power, helping other people remember their magnificence, because I feel like we're all just magnificent manifestations of love, of source of love. And along the way, sometimes we forget that, and pieces and parts of us kind of get hidden or fall off almost. And just from life experiences, maybe parental, maybe peers, maybe siblings, maybe whatever, as we're growing up. And so that's really been my power is I guess is helping to remind people of their power and their magnificence. Um,
Yeah.
yeah, and I think I mean, as a therapist, I've worked with abused children and abused adults and neglected children and people who have gone through a lot of stuff and I guess sometimes I forget that there may be people who haven't gone through stuff, but I've not met them yet. It seems like we all have something, and those things can either help us to expand and grow, and
Yeah.
or we can let them take us all the way down, and you know that's not the place to go. But
And
yeah, it's
you
just about
said at the
finding that.
beginning,
Go ahead.
oh, I'm sorry, that was
No.
a lag there. You said at the beginning, it takes a brave woman to go there, and uh, I believe that even you saying I don't know what my power is, that's like a very powerful thing to say. Because sometimes we can say, yes, I'm this, I'm that, I'm doing this, I'm doing that. And that can just be a way of convincing ourselves that we are being great in the world, like an ego kind of feeder. And I think
Mm-hmm.
that's really powerful. And when I read about you, and not only read about you, know what I know about you and the work that you are doing and how you're interweaving all of your wisdom and learnings and teachings and education into this one thing, as a reverend and as a social worker and a counselor and an artist and an author. I think it takes a lot of internal skill to to weave all of this together and then to say, here I am, this is what I'm doing, and share it with the world.
I think that the line "Here I am" is the important part of what you just said, because that's when it works. Is when I say "Here I am," here I am, and I am the vessel for you to, for love to move through me, and really, I don't do much of anything other than allow it to come through me, you know, and it could be through the arts or it could be through the words. I'm given different information to share. It's that intuition, um, and it's even in the not doing that I become more in touch with how to show up and maybe have guidance, hear the guidance for whatever it is next
Yeah.
or at that moment even. And so that constant weaving in that quiet time to meditate and to hear is the important part. It's sort of like, here I am, what would you have me be about? And then listening and then going from there,
Yeah, because it takes a lot of, we're in a world of, there are distractions everywhere. We can get distracted by someone else's stuff, by our own stuff, by what we think we need to be doing when we really just need to be being called to be being. And it's like
Yeah.
that tree behind you. And it feels as if I love it. What I'm hearing is like life is an art form, and to be able to paint this picture and bring in all of the parts of us together and then show up, because you're showing up in different ways, like in different contexts, with people who can hear you on different levels, whether it's in a ministry, whether it's in a healing environment, whether it's in a social working situations with children and adults with trauma. What do you think is the common thread of what you bring that actually that people resonate with all the way through that?
That's really, no one's ever asked me that question, Laura.
Oh, really?
That's
I
a
love
beautiful,
asking questions that no one's
yes,
ever
that's a
asked.
beautiful question. And I
Because you
picture
come up,
this
you
golden
you're in
thread.
so many different
Yes, I
contexts, aren't
know.
you?
And I am, but it's still all the same. Even when I do art, when I sit down and I play with my watercolors or sketch something, I mean, it's so beautiful to do the arts, and that's what's so beautiful to use the arts in healing sessions with people through therapy, because it brings us both right into the now moment, which is
Yeah.
the only time there is. And and so it's the same thing in that moment. It's like, here I am, what's going to come through. It's the same thing. So I think it's about being, and I'm not perfect, believe me, at this not doing, because I'm a big doer.
You
Um,
are.
but 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 I couldn't do all of that if I didn't take that time out to. I do take that time out to be, and I do take it out right when I'm with someone, too, to tune in. My first job, it was interesting. It was a population I didn't think I'd be very effective with, and it was men who'd been in the state psychiatric hospital for years. And it was right after deinstitutionalization here in the United States, where we kind of emptied out the huge psychiatric hospitals where people lived for years and things. And and this was a group of men who went into the next step down, a step down into a community home. And I was the dance and art therapist for these guys, and they had serious chronic mental illness, substance abuse issues, and had committed heinous crimes. They had been locked up in the forensic center, but some of them had been there 20 years or whatever. So I thought, okay, how do I do this? How do I do this? You know,
Yeah.
and I realized that I could just go in, finding that light in them that was
Yes.
there when they came into this planet, through their mother onto this planet. I had to find that and connect my light to their light. And I
That's
think I
powerful.
think I still do that. I think that's the thread, is this recognition that, you know, we're all magnificent manifestations, no matter what has happened in our lives or what we walk around with, diagnoses or anything. It doesn't matter, because there's still that light, there's still there. It's still there. It's in all of us. And it's just gotten dimmed, maybe. And so,
Yes.
yeah, it's like, whew, fan, fan that light. So
Fan the light and bring the flame up and out and expand it. And I think that's really powerful, because we hear, or I hear, and I say it, so many times, we are one, we are one, we are one, we are one. There's nothing outside of the divine. How can there be? It is one power presence. And and yet then when we meet somebody that our human mind is saying, no, 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 I'm separate from this person, they're nothing to do with me, and I don't like this and I don't like that about them. I think that's really beautiful that you use light as this way of connecting, seeing and knowing this light, that the light is the one. The light is the
yes,
one. So
it's,
how can it?
it's, yes. I mean, everything's energy anyway. And so, and when you think about the vibrations of certain emotions, and, if I'm going in there being loving, I'm already got a different vibration than if I go in there being
Yes.
afraid or being judgmental or any of those things, that are lower vibrations, of energy. And I think you touched on something really important. And I know that as human beings, we are not completely free of judging with our little ego minds and things. Um, but the more I can set that aside, the easier it is to connect.
To connect, to,
I
to
mean, and
know
for
that
them to
connection.
connect with me. So maybe part of that thread um, is that I don't. Yeah, how can I judge anybody? I'm not perfect. I never will be. I'm perfectly progressing. So are they. So is everyone. And so how can I judge anybody? I can't. There's different people have different ideas or enjoy certain things a different way or think a different way. It doesn't, they have that right. It's not my business, unless they're hurting somebody. But you know what I mean? I mean, this has
Yeah.
become, there's been such division in our country. And I like what Brene Brown had said in her book, Braving the Wilderness. You know, if people seem difficult, move in closer.
Right. And that's our opportunity for our own growth and expansion, to
Yes.
understand, to walk in somebody else's shoes, and to know that that can be true of us too, that others can walk in our shoes to feel what it feels like to be who I am, who you are, because we're all going through something, aren't we? We're all
Yeah.
experiencing something that we feel is a struggle for our
Mm-hmm.
lives. So I just want to welcome in Susan here. Suzanne, welcome. Loving the stories, Suzanne. And Wayne, welcome here to Women of Power, the Women of Power Hour. We are here with the amazing
Hi,
Reverend Serena
Susan.
Hemmer. Loving the hat, Susan.
Oh, yes.
Yeah.
She's become a cowgirl lately, I'll tell you.
Oh, I
Quite the
love
cowgirl.
that.
She's got boots, too. Hi,
Of
Susan.
course. Can't have a hat without the boots.
Hi.
So we're talking about being a woman of power and what it really means. And I'm going to ask you now, Serena. I'm sure you know, what is your superpower? What are your superpowers?
You played it plural. Oh, thank you. Um, well, I think it is just love. I mean, it seems like a pat answer, but it's just being loving.
Wayne has just said it for you. He put that up as I asked the question.
That's it.
Life of
Thank you,
vibrational
Wayne.
energy love. Thank
Yeah,
you,
thank
Wayne.
you, Wayne. That's it.
Yes.
I mean, really, that's all there is. And wouldn't it be something if we got there completely? If I got there completely, I'm not there completely, but it is a choice that I make, you know.
And
And
resilience, Serena. Lily is saying resilience.
oh, and resilience. Thank you, Lily.
Yeah. So
Yes.
talk about resilience. It not giving up. No, we never give up. No.
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 Not giving up. No, no, that's right. I've heard that all of us are born with certain levels of resilience, and I guess that they've proven that to be true scientifically. I didn't think I was that kind of person who bounced back easily, but I think I've become that person. I don't think I was
Uh,
born that way, but I think I've become that person. I've had to.
we have to, because we have a choice in the moment. We can
Yeah,
either wallow in or reboot in a
yeah, or
different
say,
way, in a different way.
okay, so this happened, I experienced this, and so I'm feeling this, and um, there's lessons in the experience, and there's lessons in the feelings if I listen to them.
Yes.
So, what are the feelings trying to help me understand about me?
And that, I believe, is really powerful because it's in the feelings. I was doing a piece of work, preparing something for a course I'm creating, and I was really tuning into, that we delving in, going into those feelings. It's never about the thing that's happened. It's always about a resonance of a lineage of feelings, of beliefs that we've held and stored. So the gifts are in the feelings when we
It is.
when we face them and become one with them and question them and bring them
Yes.
out into the light. It's like, oh, the revelations that can happen is so
Yes,
fantastic.
Laura.
Yes.
Absolutely. Yes. I try not to label a feeling as positive or negative, good or bad. I mean, some of them don't feel so great. But if I stop and go, okay, I know this doesn't feel real great, but let's explore it a little bit more again. Let's listen
Yeah.
to it again and see what it's trying to help me understand about me. And then So different. It shifts completely. Then I can see some solutions. Then I can see how I can, bounce back or bounce higher.
Right.
I don't necessarily want to bounce back, I think I want to bounce higher or,
Loving it.
better.
Bounce higher.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yes.
So, what is it about light? There's a thread here with light and light language
Mm.
and the way that you use light as a healing modality. What is light? What is
Well,
talk
light to
about
me,
light language?
okay. Well, light, first of all, is an aspect of love. So, you know, it's an aspect of love. It's a little bit different vibration, and we're more familiar with light. Just like I don't, you probably can't see it, but right now the sun is right over here, behind me here, and it's very bright. It's very bright light coming through here. But then, as I sit here, there's a shadow, so I can see that there's light. You see, I can grasp the concept of light. Whereas love, it's sort of a little hard to grab hold of sometimes, right?
Yeah.
So that's something. We've got somebody moving trash cans around out here. I'm sorry about that
Oh,
background
that's
noise
okay.
because I'm outside of work. And but um, light language is something that came on suddenly, spontaneously. While I was washing dishes in an cold October night in Ohio, and 2011, and I was washing dishes, and just came out of my mouth, and I thought, oh my gosh, I don't know what just came out of my mouth. I will never tell anyone about it. And so then, actually, Easter Sunday in 2012, it just poured out of my mouth. So I recorded it partly way through, and it's on my YouTube channel, that original one, and some others. But so I sent the recording to my spiritual family. They connected me with Mary Rodwell, who's been researching people who speak what she called ET languages then. And now I think she's kind of switched to light language too, which seems to be a universal reference to it now. And what it is it's the vibrations of what sound like a syllable are full of light transmissions and light codes to help us to surpass our cognitive, limitations so that we expand from the heart, so that we show up more as love in the world. And it's preparing us, my understanding is that it's preparing us to speak more telepathically, heart to heart again, which we did in the beginnings. So it's very ancient. I feel it's the language of our souls, but then there are different languages that have come, down through it too. There's different galactic languages, has been my understanding. And so, I speak a variety of different ones. And they've been very healing for people when I do healing work.
You actually use them as a form, as a modality for healing as well when you're
Yes,
with people.
that and the
That's
crystals.
amazing.
Yeah. And it's interesting how some things just, shift or change, or even physically, people experience that. But people, you can't actually translate it word for word, but you can get the sense of it. I think a lot of people, most people, say, "I understood that. I understood it from here. What the message was for me," and occasionally some people totally go, "I knew exactly what you were saying. I knew exactly." But there's so much in each vibrational sound that it would
Yes.
be hard to translate out, exactly what's said.
And
Um,
I just love this that it happened for you in 2011 and 12. For me, that was a absolutely pivotal, explosive time for rebirthing and epiphany. And I now know why we're on the call, why we know each other. I didn't realize that about you in 2011 and 12.
Yes.
Yeah, a
Yes, it was a
heart
big time. Things
expanding
shifted.
big
It's
time. And we're
lots
kind
more
of
light.
like 10 years cycle now of this,
Yes.
where I
So
feel
much
there's
light
a,
came into the onto this planet, in 2012, and a lot of light workers have been working for years to bring that light,
yes.
to raise the level of vibrational light on this planet, and some of those have passed on now. They've moved on, they've gone out to be their whatever's next for them and their soul. um, and so now I feel like what we're at the time where there's not any light work needed done. Really, I think the light is here.
It's done.
It's the love that we have to be
Love.
in the
Yes.
world. We really have to be
Yes.
the love in the world and expand, to change and to keep this planet and humanity going. I mean, if each person could understand their magnificence and take a look at the possibilities, that they have in their humanness as a spiritual being, I mean, we could really make this a beautiful, beautiful planet to live on with each other. That's my belief.
And I love it
I
that
interrupted you, and I apologize for that.
no, you're not interrupting me at all. I'm just like, I'm interrupting you. I'm
Oh,
interrupting you. I just see this line of trees behind you and realizing that how trees are so interconnected
oh
with the
yeah.
roots and the
Can you see
leaves, the way
some
they
Spanish
connect.
moss on this one over here?
And
See
it's like here
that?
we all are as love. Our hearts are connecting, and when we open to knowing that we're so connected through the heart, it's
Yes,
everything changes because we see each other differently. We recognize ourselves in others differently, loving ourselves in a deeper way, loving others in a deeper way. Because I think sometimes the term, we're one, be one with one, that can be a little bit too much sometimes to actually comprehend that and then be it.
yes. And I have
The
people say,
heart
"Oh,
is, yeah,
you talk about being love. You talk about being love, and like, you got to give people more. You got to give people more, than just say be the love you are, be the love you are." um,
and yeah, that's a great opener because then that allows us and others to say, well, how do I be that? How do I be that? Or what do I need to be that? And so it can set off a dialogue, an internal dialogue of
good
questioning.
point.
Because we
Hmm.
don't have the answer for, we find it in our own way. And that's the beauty of it, that we're never going to find it in the same way. I'm never going to know it the same way that you know it.
Exactly. And so, I think too is, asking people, well, how do you think you already show up as love? Because you
Right.
already are love, but how do you show up
Right.
as that? You're already
Yes.
doing it, I'm sure. So what are some of those ways? And helping them recognize and take a look at themselves in the mirror and go, oh, yeah, I was being loving there. Oh, I was showing up as love here. Oh, gosh, I am being love, so it's helping them also recognize how they're already doing it, as well as, how else they could do it.
Because we've been conditioned to believe that we have to really give of ourselves in order to be accepted and acknowledged by
Hmm.
others. And so we can get into this kind of people pleasing loop of then going overboard and not realizing that actually by being here, by smiling at somebody
Just
as we pass by
smiling.
them in the street, by
Exactly.
just sending love forwards within
The
ourselves as we're
energy of
walking,
love going
the
forward
energy,
is so powerful.
so powerful. And that we're not having to be these kind of like frantic, peacemakers all over the place, because we can be it just by being when we tune into it.
Yeah. It just reminded me of some little things too. I was looking for a home once in Columbus, and I really had my heart set on getting a little red brick ranch with a garage, and a little yard. And I was with my realtor, and she could not get this key to unlock the door. She got the key out of the lockbox, and it just would not unlock the door. She was getting just so frantic and upset with it and everything. And I said, let's just stop a minute. This
Yeah.
seems corny, but this works. I'm telling you, it works all the time. I said, let's just stop. Okay. And so I said, you're going to hand me the key. And so I didn't say out loud, but I said within myself, I said, I love you, key. I love you, lock. I know that you can open this door. This door is going to open. I send you so much love. And boom, the door opened. You know, the door just opened like
Oh,
that.
oh,
And she's like, how did you do that? And I then said, well, I just sent it a little love. And
yeah.
then something else happened a little bit. I can't remember what else. And she goes, oh, you were probably just sending that love again, weren't you? She said, maybe I need to practice this. She said,
Yes. Why
oh,
not?
where did my phone go?
Oh, thank you for
I couldn't
showing us
use
the
my
tree. That was
computer.
amazing.
Oh, good. Oh, gosh. I'm trying to use my phone. My laptop wouldn't work out here. So, anyhow, it's been
So, what do
good.
you do on the days, Serena, or at the times when you don't feel that power, where you're kind of not feeling connected and you just feel like, oh my gosh, how is that
Oh,
for you then? Is it that you, I mean, not feeling it doesn't mean that you're not connected or it's not there.
yeah.
How do you actually how do you take that downtime and just, you're very giving, you're giving so much, even just your whole energy is just outpouring and we can feel that here.
Mm.
What do you do to recalibrate for yourself?
Well, nature's one thing. The beach, I live close to the beach, the Gulf of Mexico. The beach on the Gulf of Mexico, in case Reverend John ever listens to this, he had to be taught that it's not the ocean, it's the Gulf. So the beach is one way to renew. And even if I just go and sit there, uh, fully clothed or whatever, the beach is really powerful. I love the water. Water is
Yeah.
so important to me, and the sun. I love the sun too. So the beach is really important. I love to swim. I love to be in the water. And when I'm swimming, I get a lot of, I I get filled up. I get information. I calm myself.
Yeah.
Um, and meditation, of course, and then listening to my own mentors and spiritual teachers and things. I
Yeah.
like to listen to them and just take time out for a little bit because I do kind of carry a bit of a schedule.
You
For a
do
woman of my
a bit of
age, of my youth,
for a
a
woman of
woman of my
power,
youth,
a bit of a schedule, a bit of 15 schedules going on here.
yeah. But
Serena.
so, and
Yeah.
then, there's people, I mean, my spiritual community here in St. Petersburg, Florida, has always been a place of refuge and, peace and, new wisdom, new awakening, new awareness, expansion and comfort and support and all of those things. So that's really important to have that community, even you know even if you're not with them all the time or you're not able to be with them through the week or whatever, they're there and that you have that connection. Because I do a lot of things by myself because I have a lot of interest. I love my painting. I love to, I'm writing my little my books. You told me not to say little, so I caught myself
No.
writing my books. And, I can get into some really creative projects. So,
You can.
uh,
I've seen your artwork and I think it's so beautiful. When you first posted your artwork, I can see the progression and the kind of the style that I mean, not that it's one style, but I can really feel this expansion of what you're doing now.
I'm still trying to
Is
figure out what that style
Oh,
might be,
wow.
but but I love the arts. Dance. I was a dancer, so you can only dance one step at a time. You can only sing
Okay.
one note at a time. You can only play one note at a time. You can only paint one, paintbrush You can only do that one, whatever that's called, one at a time. So it really
Stroke.
brings us one stroke. Thank you. And same with swimming, one stroke at a time, one stroke, da 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 da, brings us into the present moment. Because yes, this the frantic stuff comes out, you know, it's in the future, and the depression and stuff comes from the past. So when I do the arts or sit here with this tree, uh, the present moment is so divine and perfect.
Yeah. And we're
And that's,
all kind of, there's a big yearning to push away from the present moment, isn't there? I think
yeah,
that's being a powerful presence, is to actually set an intention to really be in the present moment, mindfully, moment by moment, in the now, in the now. That could heal the world
really.
totally.
And yet it's amazing to me still, with everything that's out about the present moment now, which in 1991, when I first became aware that there even was a present moment, because I either lived in the past or the future all the time, uh, I still counsel people who live in the future or live in the past or go from one to the other, skipping over the present. It's amazing to me how many people do still live in the past or the present, So, yeah.
And to
And
catch ourselves. I mean, I know today I did something, I won't go into the detail of it, but I had a conversation with my mother, and I know that I was projecting something that had happened when I was a teenager
oh,
onto a situation now, and I actually caught myself. I put the phone down and I realized what I was doing. I had to be in the present moment to realize that. Otherwise, I would have just kind of gone on and repeated that kind of thinking and behavior. So
yeah.
it's that present moment that can bring in the realization of, oh my God, did I
Well,
just do that?
it's interesting because when we're triggered, and Donna Angelou, who I connected you with, I hope that she gets to be on, sometime. Um,
Oh,
she taught me.
yes.
She taught me the 5 steps to self-regulation that comes from a conscious discipline, and the 5 steps. So what happens is, we have this early brain stem area with our childhood experiences when we didn't know how to manage. We didn't, this part of our brain, the executive functioning part, wasn't fully developed even. So that part, something happens, we're triggered back there. It's like you said, something that happened when you were a teenager, right? And the
Yeah.
emotions come with it right away. So you're going from there to your limbic brain, which is where the emotions are. So we end up in this loop. We can end up in this
Loop.
loop between that trigger and the emotion attached to that trigger. But when you come back, like you said, to the present moment, and so the 5 steps are: I realize I am triggered. 2, I calm. So when you calm, you come into the present moment because you breathe in order to calm, and the breath brings us into the present moment. So you're right. When you get to that present moment, usually through the breath, that's when I can say, I feel. And you can go, what am I really feeling right now? Right now, not the feeling that maybe,
Then.
yeah, but
Yeah.
what am I feeling? And so then this is the best part of it. Step 4 is, oh gosh, I choose. And I choose to welcome the feeling in. And this is where I learned this from her. I choose to welcome the feeling and see what it has to tell me, to teach
Okay.
me.
Yes.
And then I can
Yes.
come to a different solution. I solve. So
Yes.
I calm, I feel,
I feel.
I choose,
I choose.
and I
I
solve.
solve.
And so what you did was you came right up here. You did it. You did
I
all those
did.
steps on your own.
I did them all on my own. I did them when I put the phone down. I had to come off the phone from my mother to be able to do it because there was
I
triggers going
remember
on with
those
that as
days.
well.
I
It's like,
remember
okay, get
those
me off the
days.
phone quickly. Oh, you remember those days. Oh, bless our mothers, our
Yes,
beautiful mothers,
yes, yes.
who
I
guide
don't
us
know.
and show us where our triggers are.
Yes, for sure. So we can heal them. So we
So
can
we can
heal them.
heal them. Yes, I did connect with her and I'm going to reconnect with her again. Donna Angelou, thank you for that.
Good. She's a beautiful soul.
So, Serena, how do we claim our power now going into 2023? How do we claim this for ourselves, even in a greater way? And I'm not saying in a kind of like earth-shattering way, but what is it going into 2023 that we can say, okay, I'm going to really be this I'm going to be who I say I am rather than who I
Yes.
think I am and get distracted by everything else that's going on.
I have a client in my private practice, and she's beautiful, awake, aware, conscious young woman. She's 25, and she's had a great loss of her love to death already, and she has two children. And so I watch her, as I'm there for whatever reason I'm there for in her sessions because she amazes me every session. And she's chosen to she this last 6 months she has chosen to be really with herself, really with herself, and and to she's really taking a good look at herself, and then she has a mantra for herself every new day because she wants to do what exactly you said. I want to be who I say I am.
Yeah.
I want to be who I say I am. So how do I get there? So she has a mantra every day that she says, I use this mantra, which is guiding me home to be all that I am, my whole
Okay.
potential as a spiritual being in a human body. So I think it's really is about staying aware and being with ourselves. And it's hard to be with yourself sometimes, it's
It
hard.
certainly is.
Yeah, it's
Yeah.
so much easier. It's easier for me to be with, and it's like, tell me all your stuff. If you want some tools, here they are. I'll support you in that. Than to sit with myself
Yeah.
and be aware of those things about me. She journals a lot. She writes, and something I always feel is good for all of us is to journal. When we see things in front of us on paper, it's a lot clearer, at least for me, than it is just rolling around in my head. So staying
Yes,
tuned
it's
in,
something.
staying connected, but also being really, really aware of who I am and how I'm showing up each day. I don't know if that answered your question or not.
That answers my question and more. And what I'm feeling is that it's that authentic um, loving ourselves and
Yeah.
being true to who we are, because it's so easy to come off track and to get distracted and sidetracked by even by other people's stuff or where we think we need to be to people please,
Mm,
which just really takes us off course of being the love for ourselves and what we're here to do in the world. You're here to do immense. You are doing it already. You've been doing it
so are
for
you.
since before you were born. You've been doing this. You're on the journey on the adventure of being the light and being the love in all that you're doing and rippling that out. And I'm just feeling so humbled and grateful to know you and to know of everything that you're exempling for women, men, they, for all of us, to really find that way to weave in everything that you love about life and bring it together and then say, this is who I am and this is what I'm offering. It takes a lot of courage. Takes a lot of
Takes a
courage,
brave,
and
brave girl. It takes
it
a brave,
takes a
brave boy.
brave, brave girl.
It takes a brave, brave boy too. Woman, man. It is. It's this experience as a human being. Uh, in this human being outfit is really something, isn't it? It's really
It
something.
really is. Yeah.
Yeah. And I think that's another thing is it's being in touch with the truth of your allness
Yes.
and remembering your allness and the magnificent manifestation of love that you are. And I'm not talking about egotistical self-love. We're not talking about that. You know that. Everybody knows that. I think that maybe watching. We're talking about that that knowing that there's never been another one of this person here, that person there,
Mm.
ever in any of the universes, ever.
It's amazing. I watched a video a few years ago that really, sometimes you see something and you know it happens, and when you see it on a video, it's like, oh my gosh, I'm meant to be here. I watched this amazing video on YouTube of the one sperm finding, connecting with the egg.
With the egg.
It was the
And
most
then how it just,
incredible video. It's like billions and billions and billions of sperm, and this one was just with the egg. It's like,
yes,
okay, we're all each meant to be here as we are, because
we
if
are.
we weren't, it would have been another sperm and another,
And
incredible.
yes, yes. And if one of us is not here when that came together and we were born and we became here on this planet, this incarnation, it would throw everything out of balance. Just like if one of the planets decided, I don't think I want to be in this galaxy anymore. I think I want to be in that galaxy.
Yeah,
What would happen? It'd all be a mess, right? So
yeah,
that's how important each one of us are as well. If one of us you know, isn't being here when we're, you know, it kind of throws things off for everybody.
yeah, it
Anyway,
certainly does.
kind of went someplace else with that, but
So that's good. I like that. Going somewhere else. Thank you so much, Reverend Serena, for being here and shining your
thank you.
light. Light, light, light. I just want to put in the chat here your book, the name of your book. I realize I didn't create a banner for this.
Oh, that's okay.
Uh,
The newest
I
book
want to do
is
this.
Galactic Light Language,
Yes, of course
and
it
then
is.
the subtitle is An Experiencer's Experience. E- yeah,
Is this on Amazon?
it is, and it's on Amazon in various countries.
Good. There we are. For everybody that's watching right now at this time or any time, welcome here. It's taken me 50 minutes to say welcome to everybody. So
Thank you.
engaged with this amazing conversation.
Thank you,
Thank you to
everyone.
everyone for being here. Thank you, Zazu. I love your
Hi,
name, Zazu.
Susan.
Zazu, I love your name. And Susan for being here. And Wayne for being here. Absolutely. Golden bubble of peace. Yes. And Lily, it's great to be here with you today on the Women of Power Hour with the one and only Reverend Serena, who's shining her light and giving me and allowing me to see how incredible it is to be really authentic and embrace all of these creative aspects and bring them into the body of work that we're giving out into the world.
Yes,
It's
right.
so beautiful, and so what a life you are intentionally creating for yourself.
Oh, well.
Really.
Sometimes I have to bring myself back on track too, but yeah. But thank you, Laura. You're the light. I mean, you glow, your aura's like, whoo.
Oh.
And I met you, before you had the Women of Power Hour show and before you had
Yeah.
Cosmic Prayer. And it just gives me those God bumps and angel tickles to see where you're at now and how many people, you're loving out there, and that are experiencing your love through your shows and other things you do. So I love you.
Oh, well, I love you, Serena, and it's amazing that we're doing this together. And we'll meet in person very soon. I know
I
this.
know, and you're
I
always welcome
know.
to
I
stay at my
know. It's like,
house.
oh yeah, and you at mine.
Okay, we got to make that happen. We
Okay.
put it out there, maybe.
Yes.
All right, we're ready. All right,
We're ready. We're ready. Thank you, Reverend
thank
Serena.
you.
I'm going to take this banner down so that we can see your name again. And you'll be back, I know, on the Women of Power Hour show. And you can catch Reverend Serena on Amazon with her new book, Galactic Light Language. Amazing. And I think that's great that you've written a book about it, because
It's
I
very
was kind
short.
of
You can read it in 15 minutes, and
oh,
it's just a little bit of my experience. So,
and you have a website, don't you?
well, probably best just to look at all my Facebook pages.
There we are. You're there. You're on Facebook, so we can find you there.
Okay. Yes.
Thank
Thank
you,
you.
Reverend Serena. Bye,
Okay.
everyone.
Bye bye.